morning. Welcome to Voice of the Box. I've got Tony Ferry. First of all, Tony, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your busy morning to join me here on Voice of the Box.
Absolutely, not a problem.
Tony, instead of me telling the people what your role is, would you mind just in summary explain your role and how long you've been doing your role here with the 49ers?
My current role, so I'm serving as home game or home side locker room manager. I've been doing that since I think 2000, so I'm in my 8th season doing that. But as far as affiliation with the team, I've been affiliated with them since '89, coming in and doing equipment when I was in high school.
Now you also have a brother who unfortunately is not able to join us in this interview. I wanted to get him, but we'll get him another time.
Yeah.
And how long has he been involved doing this as well?
Jason Ferry, he started working his first mini camp, I think, was back in '92, so I've been affiliated with them since '92, so I guess doing the math, that's 16 years.
Now just kind of step me through what it's like on a game day, everything that you do as we get serenaded by the rehearsal for the national anthem, but tell me what a game day is like, what time you get to the park, what happens before the game, during the game, and after. Just kind of step me through what it's like on a game day in the NFL.
Sure, so typically from an equipment perspective, what we'll do is all the gear will come up to the stadium on a Saturday. So we'll get up here about midday on Saturday, unpack all the player gear, get all the coaches' locker rooms set. That way when we come in on Sunday, typically about 5 hours before the game, everything's set and ready to go. So game day, we'll get up here typically about 8 o'clock in the morning, lay out all the jerseys. I'll put on a pot of coffee, get that ready for Coach Martz, and just get everything situated. That way when the players start rolling in about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it's just a troubleshooting perspective at that point.
So you've got everything signed, sealed, and delivered. Tell me, over the years, you've been here through the good years and maybe some of the more lean years for the right adjective, I'm not sure, but what are some of the more random requests in terms of, let's say, equipment or any other accessories that you've had from players that have worked, that you've had under your tutelage?
Sure. I think the most curious one we had was when Chris Dolman played with us for a couple years, mid-90s, and having come from the Vikings and played years on turf that he did, he would come to us with his new turf shoes if we had a road game coming up on turf, and he'd ask us to file it down. So we would have to take his shoes, go into Rich Jenoff's shop, the groundskeeper for the 49ers, go into his shop, take it to his grinder, and grind down his shoes, take it back into him, say, Chris, is this low enough? And he'd say, you know, adjust it here and there. And I mean, come on, it's just a pair of shoes. I mean, it wasn't going to make that much of a difference, but some players can be that particular in their requests.
I know you're a professional, you've been doing this for a long time, but has there ever been a road game where something just didn't get packed? You missed something, kind of a crucial piece of equipment, and what have you done to overcome that? I don't want to look at the negative, but I'm just trying to find the quirky, the odd, the funny stuff that kind of goes on in the equipment life in the NFL. Is there anything like that that's ever happened?
Yeah, it was, I'd have to check the years on that, but I think it was 90. It was the NFC Championship that we had out in Green Bay. The weather was so bad out here in San Francisco that the team actually practiced in Arizona. So, you know, we shipped everything, we practiced that week in Arizona, and it was actually before they moved on that we found out that Dennis Brown had failed to pack his helmet. So on the equipment side, you know, that's something that we double check. We'll go through the lockers, make sure that, hey, guys do forget stuff, let's make sure that we don't forget it. Well, somehow we missed it too. I found it, I packed it up, you know, and shipped it out, but in the transition, they had gone from Arizona to Green Bay. So somewhere along the way, the helmet's sitting somewhere. I mean, the game's on Sunday. We don't know where the helmet's at. I had to call the carrier, try and track it down. It was just found in some store in Arizona that I had to locate that. I had to overnight it out to Green Bay. They had to pick it up at one of the picking up facilities. It was a nightmare. So yeah, that was probably the worst case that I've seen.
Now, I've got to ask you this question. There's a big follower of my show in Danville, California. Her name is Lisa. Her last name will remain anonymous for just protect the innocent. She wants to know, what is it like doing laundry for an NFL team? And by the way, do you sneak any snuggle in there, any bounce, any downy? Come on, fess up.
It's been years since I've actually been on the laundry side, but it's typically not that bad. I mean, you get it down to a system because you want to get done and get out as soon as you can. So you get a system down. It's really not that bad. I think what actually gets done with the player stuff is a little bit different now than, say, when I broke in '89. I think there's a little bit more care involved nowadays.
Any bounce sheets?
Probably.
Any downy?
Oh, yeah.
Snuggle fresh?
Currently, yes. Then,
okay,
no.
Okay, good. Just checking.
But it would take, you know, so going back to '89 when I broke in from high school, I would come in after practice, probably about 3 o'clock, and, you know, I would get it down to a system where I could be out of there in probably about 3.5 hours. I mean, you really get it down systematically that as soon as you got one thing coming out of the dryer, another thing's going in, and you just work it so you get it in and out as quick as you can.
Kind of as just a last question, you've been here for many years, and obviously I can answer my own question, but fondest memories have got to be Super Bowl years. Is there anything else outside of Super Bowl years that perhaps just a fan of the NFL wouldn't know about the fun stories, the things that you guys go through in your day-to-day life in the equipment world?
Well, for me, I think given the time that I came in really at the height of the dynasty.
Right.
Coming in at '89 and winning Super Bowl 24 and 29 with the team. What was really special for me was being able to throw the ball to Jerry Rice. Especially within that time, once we traded Joe to Kansas City, Steve becoming a lefty and me being a lefty, the ball just has a different looking approach coming in. So Jerry Rice would many times, before a game like today or in training camp, would just call out my name. I'd warm him up and go through all the routines and everything. So it was our little special bond. So that will always be special.
Not a lot of guys have that, huh?
No, not at all.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for taking the time on Voice of the Box.
Thank you, man.
And should we say hi to this audience that you've accumulated here?
Yeah.
Anyone we want to point out? Any guys that we want to point out?
We got Ben that's currently on the staff. He's actually the one that's putting the snuggle and the downy in currently.
Good job, Ben.
And then Josh Fernandez, the 2008 McPherson Award winner this year for Best Equipment Guy.
Excellent. And who should we need to thank our special Voice of the Box camera person. Will you please introduce him?
Oh, yes. Jeff the Shepherd Gilbert, currently member of the Blues Crews. Did a fantastic job.
Thank you, Jeff. All right. Thanks again.
Thanks, Matt.